Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking. Lenten season is upon us this week, and before Lenten season starts, we always have Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, the celebration of all the fattening bad things before we go on a time of lean, meaningful worship and reflection upon ourselves, and not indulging in all those sins. So Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, the kickoff of the Lenten season. So Tuesday, Shrove Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, celebrates all those good things that we love to eat that we shouldn't, especially in the baked goods department. Now, here in Pennsylvania, that means donuts. So it especially means Amish FASTNACHTS. So, do the Amish celebrate Lent? No. Do they celebrate Mardi Gras? No. But a large part of the community that they are a part of, which includes Catholic and Lutherans and other religious denominations, do. And the Amish are master donut makers. So the Amish in our region here in Pennsylvania adapted accordingly and actually created doing Amish FASTNACHTS for Fat Tuesday, and actually even help some organizations do them as fundraisers. Down towards Harrisburg, there is a Amish community that actually helps their fire company make these as a fundraiser because they support their fire company, and this is a way that they can help them every year. A lot of the Amish will support local fire companies to help support them for their farms and businesses. And actually there are Amish that are learning about current fire practices and technology for their farms. So it's neat to see the communities come together and support each other. So that's what we're making today for Fat Tuesday, our Amish FASTNACHTS. They're wonderful donuts. They're different than the potato donuts that I made with my mom. These are a truly Amish and PA Dutch staple around here. So there's two parts to it. There is the sponge, which is the yeast part, which we make now and we will let rise overnight, and then we make the dough tomorrow and fry them up. So let's get to that first part now, the sponge. So for the sponge, we need, you can do it either way, 1 yeast cake, or 1 yeast cake equals 3 packets of the instant yeast, whether it's the instant or fast rising, it doesn't matter, but 1 cake of yeast equals 3 of those. 4 scant sifted cups of flour and 2 cups of warm water. And the flour is already sifted. So first I'm going to add our packets of yeast. I keep these packets around so it always stays fresh, because honestly I don't do enough yeast products to keep the cakes around. So then this way they don't get stale or go bad. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water. And I will mix this a little bit, just to make sure it's all in there. And we're going to let this sit about 20 minutes before we add our flour. And break up any little lumps. Okay, so we're going to let it sit there and get happy for 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes, and we're now going to add in our flour to make a batter. And this batter will rise overnight. Or at least we hope it will rise overnight. It helps if your area where you're doing this is at least 72 degrees. It does a lot better job of rising. So if you keep your house cold, that might be a consideration for you. So that's all incorporated in well. I'm going to let it do its job overnight and hopefully get nice and spongy and rise well. I'm just going to cover it with a cloth like this and set it aside to rise. And my sponge is all ready to go, more than doubled in half. Now we have the dough ingredients. That's 2 eggs, 1½ teaspoon of salt, ½ teaspoon of nutmeg, 3/8 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and a ½ cup of shortening. And we're going to cream together the first couple of ingredients and add it to our sponge, then along with the spices and the eggs. Then we're going to add in the flour as much as it will take to make a ready dough. It should be a soft dough. I've put in my shortening, there goes my sugar, and there goes my salt. And I'll start creaming this. So that's creamed, and I'm going to add that to the sponge. And then I add my beaten eggs. And we're going to start just mixing this in. Smell the yeast. Okay, and then we're going to start in adding our flour. And it's basically as much flour as it can take. I have 5 cups measured out here, because that's about what it takes. So it took up most of the flour, a little bit left there. That's okay, make sure it's mixed well. I don't have any sticky parts left. And then I'm just going to pat this down and let this sit to rise again. Now you can see how much this has risen, more than doubled. Now you don't have to do this, but I do a double rise. So I'm gonna punch this down and turn it out, clean the bowl, and line it with Pam, and put this back in for its last rise before we fry the donuts. So I have my bowl ready. I'm going to just turn this in. And I'm going to let it rise one last time. And see how much that doubled again? So now comes the fun part. I'm going to turn it out onto a floured surface and roll them out to fry. I'm just doing this to make it more manageable. And into the fryer they go. Now you're just waiting for them to get golden brown, and then you're going to flip them. Doesn't take real long. So, my other camera is giving me fits. So, I just wanted to show you that while they're still very lightly warm, like lukewarm, we go and do them in their toppings. You can do cinnamon sugar. I'm doing plain sugar and powdered sugar. You can also do a glaze. I'm going to take some of these into work, so I don't want to mess with glaze and all that mess. But just shake them off. There we go. And you can see a nice tray of donuts, FASTNACHTS, PA Dutch Amish FASTNACHTS. So, you know what comes next. So I'm actually resorting to the phone camera. Whatever works, right? Oops, just a little sugar coming off. So good. PA Dutch, traditional Amish FASTNACHTS. So, happy Fat Tuesday, happy Mardi Gras, Shrove Tuesday, Wednesday to start Lent. But now you can start it off right. You have your goodies. So, give them a shot. They take time, but they're not hard. And they're totally worth it. Delicious.